Hello and welcome to Tip Jar Guitar. Today I'm going to teach you how to play Suzie Q. So it'll sound like this. Alright, let's get started. And I want to mention too that you can go to tipjarguitar.com and sign up for my email newsletter, sign up for Skype lessons with me, get guitar coaching, all kinds of good stuff. And to get this lesson sheet, this tip sheet, TS is for tip sheet, you can go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/tipjarguitar, and download this file, this PDF, or the Guitar Profile, which is really handy. So we'll go over these chords in a second, but really first what we want to go over is the E minor pentatonic, and you probably already know that. And if you don't, this is how it goes. You play open, 3, open, 2, open, 2, open, 2, open, 3, open. You could also add this note, then end on the high E. So pretty straightforward there. And what we're going to do first is play the open low E, and we're going to have the tab right here, so I'll teach you it bar by bar. So here in the tab, this is the open low E, and then I'm going to play that with my pick and then cut it off with now the way I cut it off is with either the side of my thumb here or the palm of my hand, but the thing I want to do is get my pick above the B string, so in between the G and the B string. So that's why I like to kind of take the side of my thumb, because I play this note and get my pick to where it needs to go next. So we go, alright, but I'm going to be fretting it, so we go. So that's kind of a hard move, because you're moving, skipping over 3 strings while cutting off that low E, because you don't want it to ring out. You don't want that, you want that kind of punchy sound there. So now we're going to play, and that was just 3rd fret and then 2, then open. So, on the G. So 3rd fret of B, 2, then open. And again, notice these are notes from the E minor pentatonic. And, the notes we're actually playing are E, D, A, G, like that. And now, throughout this song, you can, mute the strings. That's also called dampening. So you can dampen like we did with this hand. You could dampen with the back of your palm, with the side of your thumb. You can also dampen with your left hand by just lightly touching the strings. So you can do left hand dampening or right hand dampening. And that's where these rests here, these are 8th note rests. So that's where you would want to dampen. And now this sign, hopefully you know that, is a hammer-on. And we're going to hammer on across from measures 1 to 2. So we're going to hammer on there. So those are those 2 notes. So far we have. And really I'm gonna hammer that on and then lift my finger up a little bit off of the string to cut off the note. Hear that? So as when I lift my finger up, I'm still keeping it on the string but off the fretboard, so it cuts the note off. And then I'm going to squeeze again and play that note again. So and of course with the hammer on, just make sure you get it really accurate and with enough force. And now I'm going to go and do a hammer on. So that's what we just did. Dun, dun, dun. And now I'm going to hammer on on the A string from open to the 2nd fret here. And I want to mention you can play this on electric guitar too. I just happen to have my acoustic out. And then we're going to hammer on there. And then you can do either now all of these are up here are down picks. So far we were doing all down picks. I like to do an up pick here sometimes, but you could do a down pick here on the D as well. So you hammer on here, then you want to lift up this finger and to cut the note off, and then play the open D, because you want to go, because we're playing one note at a time. You don't want this sound. That's not what you want. You want, so you lift up that finger to cut off the note, like that. And then the last part is now we're going to play the 3rd fret of the low E, that G note. And then note this symbol means it's a bend, and it's hard to see there, but that's a 1/4 step bend. So it's not even a 1/2 step. It's just a small bend. But I'm still going to use a helper finger, so I have my 3 finger here, but I'm going to put my 2 finger touching it right on top of the string, right behind it, kind of using a baseball bat grip on the neck here throughout the whole song. And, you know, thumb is vertical. Bend it down just a little bit, and then you repeat. This is a repeat symbol, so you're going to repeat back to here, and then you play it all again. So after you bend here, you go, you do that 4 times because it says 4 times there. If it said nothing there, you would just do it twice and then blow through it to the next point. So here in the second part, we're going to be, well, this is like a B section. Here we're going to be using power chords. And on the Patreon page, I'll also put a link to, you know, a song sheet for this song, so you can print that off as well. And, you know, print this off, get the Guitar Pro, which is great to practice with because you can practice with a metronome on it and slow it down or speed it up. Oh, if you want Guitar Pro software too, you have to buy it. You can go to my page, tipjarguitar.com, and get it there. I'm an affiliate. I'll get like $5. Woohoo! So now you go to A5. So we're going to play A5. So let's go up to the chords here. A5. So that means you're playing the 1st and 5th degree of the A major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you don't know the major scale, take some Skype lessons with me. And now the trick here is that you want to play these 2 notes together with even loudness. And a couple of tricks really. The main one is that the angle of your 1 finger, you're going to want to get on your fingertip, but not straight down, but you want to get on your, still right on the tip of your finger. You really shouldn't even feel the wood of the fretboard, but you angle it back. Or you could even get more like that. And you just want to at least mute the G string. If you can mute more, oh, that's even better. And then it's good to be able to get your thumb up over the top and just lightly mute the low E too. So really, if I play it, only the 5 and 4 string, the A and D string should ring out, and then you just go. So there, I just played quarter notes. Well, before I go from the A5 and play the quarter notes, well, that's what you're doing here in this 3rd measure. You play the A5. These are quarter notes. So we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and you know the tab matches up there. So there's your A5. Holding it down, you go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm trying to get pretty much even loudness out of the A and D string. One way to practice that is you might know what a resting stroke is with your pick. If I did just the A string, I'd put it on the A string, go through the string and rest it on the D. But what you can do is go through both of them and rest it on the G. And go even quicker. Now eventually you're going to want to go through and then come off. And not even rest it on the G, but it's a good practice to rest it there on the G. But yeah, I'm muting the G. Especially because it's an insurance policy. It's also an insurance policy here on the low E and even on these. So now you play that A5, just counting to quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to go to C5 here. So let's go back up to the chord charts. And with your C5, you just take your 1 finger, that's what the 1 means, to the 3rd fret, and then your 4 finger behind the 5th fret. So that's the C note. And then there's your D. And the same tricks apply, but now your pinky will mute the G. It's a little harder to come around with your thumb, so if you're trying to mute the low E, you would do it with the tip of your 1 finger here. But you could just aim with your pick too. And you actually only play, well, this, before we go on to that, the B5 is just the same thing, but a half step towards the nut, or down the neck. So, same thing, I just squeeze, release the pressure, go back on the strings, squeeze again. But really you do this twice. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want a punchier sound, you can squeeze also on each quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could also play this with fingers 1 and 3. So either way. Alright, so and of course these are the same shape. It's like the same thing as the A, because we were playing the A like this, but if you pretended the nut was a fret, you would be playing a power chord, and I just slid it up to C and back to B. So the root there was on C and then B. So the way you play it here, see, if you look in the tab, you play a whole measure, all of measure 3 on A5, and then you go to measure 4 and you have the C5 for 2 beats, 1, 2, and then you go to B5 for 2 beats, 3, 4. So these two measures together look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you like that sound better, you're just kind of muting, dampening after each quarter note with this hand, and then squeezing on each quarter note on the closed bar chords, meaning there's no open notes, they're fretted notes. And then after that, you just go back to the main riff here. And let's see, I have to get down to it. How? All right, this is how. So here, you just go back to the main riff. And you can end it there playing an E5 power chord if you like. And that's the main gist of the song. I mean, you could substitute these fifth chords or power chords for like A7, C7, B7. So you can go. That's one idea. You could even come up with different rhythms like. So if you want to expand on this, go ahead and sign up for my guitar coaching or my Skype guitar lessons. And if you're not a Patreon yet, please become a Patreon. And I hope you enjoyed this guitar lesson. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.